So if you guys are here to watch this review, then you are fans of Masters of the Universe, He-Man, and I don't need to break down the synopsis. But I'll give you a quick little one on the off chance that you're just here for the neon colors and the vibes. But it breaks my heart that this movie is projected to do 34 or 45 million over the weekend, which is going to be considered a flop. And I think that hopefully with good word of mouth, this movie makes its money back and then some. I don't know if it'll make double. I definitely don't see it making double. And I think that's mainly because the people showing up are the millennials and the boomers. And I just don't think that the younger audience is interested in this nostalgia for the 80s. And if there's one thing that this is absolute nostalgia for the 80s. And the funny thing is that I think there's so much here to enjoy without having to depend on nostalgia. I think that the special effects on this have been absolutely grand and a step up from the rinse-repeat factory nature of CGI that we've seen in summer blockbusters for the last few years. I think the character work and the writing here is so wholesome and the jokes land. There's a level of self-awareness that carries this movie forward. It knows that it's being memed. It's been memed for years. And the cast is fantastic. Skeletor is a standout. My man's, he absolutely stole the show in the best way possible. And when I thought he couldn't top himself, he did something else. And it's just so refreshing to see a villain be the standout in a film. For you guys, like I said, that aren't aware, just follows Prince Adam looking for the Sword of Power so he can restore Eternia back to its magnificent luster after Skeletor has had its way with the gaping hole that is Eternia. And along with that come all the colorful characters that you would expect from the Masters of the Universe. Anyone who complains about the casting of Master at Arms being different because it's Idris Elba, the moment you see him, you forget all that. Like, forget a lot, dude. Immerse yourself. Go in there. Everybody here is casted to perfection. He-Man himself. There is a balance of humor and humility and righteousness and heroism, and he's also on occasion a dumb ditzy blonde, and there's a level of he's so naive that he reminds me of Superman, but a much more funnier and down-to-earth Superman. There's so many things to pull from. He also reminded me of Goku, and one would argue that, you know, there's a lot of comparisons, there's a lot of correlation between like He-Man, Goku, and Superman. Especially this version of He-Man. So there's so much to love. But the special effects here are really some of the best I've seen in quite some time. And it brought to mind, while I was watching this film, it brought to mind another property that is very much running rampant with nostalgia right now. And I couldn't help myself but watch this and go, this does so many things better than Mortal Kombat 2. And when you watch it, Mortal Kombat was born in 93, and best year ever. And when you look at the stories, you look at the world, you look at the fish out of water narratives, you look at the warring realms, you look at kingdoms, you look at the outfits, you look at the costume design, you look at the combat styles. This felt like watching Mortal Kombat, but a version that was far superior. When you watch it, you will understand. The costume design of this reflected a lot of the costume design in Mortal Kombat. And most importantly and most shockingly, there are fight scenes here that made me ponder what a Mortal Kombat film would look like with Travis Knight helming it. I genuinely think this particular film, Masters of the Universe, the last act, the last fight scene with Skeletor and He-Man, has one of the best, almost fatality-looking sequences that I've seen in any Mortal Kombat film. Down to the zooming in and zooming out. If you've played the games, you know that the camera zooms in, slows down on the point of impact so you can see the bones crack, then it zooms out, and then it zooms into the next point of impact. This did that, uninterrupted, with a really impressive amount of martial arts in this film. And the whole time I was watching it, I was like, they must have known this was going to happen. Like, this was a thing. So it's really interesting, and I want to know if you guys, when you see it, when you guys see it, let me know if you caught that. But I digress. This movie's costume design, everyone looks great. Everyone looks awesome. Steel doesn't look like plastic. All right, steel plating, steel armor doesn't look like plastic. It looks like steel. The Eternia is absolutely beautiful, even when it's completely destroyed. Castle Grayskull is realized, and the prosthetic work on Skeletor was at no point ever once looked like shit. And the interpretations of these characters are so well realized. The humor is there, and I love that they even meme on the names. They meme on the names. They know these names are ridiculous. The excuse they have for these names being wild is that while Adam was away, he was remembering them and giving them names because he grew up not knowing their names, and he gave them names like Mechanic and Fisto. And there's just so many they crack jokes at that because they know that this is like a Saturday morning cartoon that you could never take seriously at all, and it doesn't take itself seriously. You know, this isn't trying to be Lord of the Rings. It's not trying to, and a lot of this reminded me of Dungeons and Dragons Among Thieves, which was another great summer blockbuster that I loved. It was one of my favorite movies that year when it came out. I think it was like 2023. And I watch it often. I really like that movie. And this reminded me so much of that, where the humor was clever. The action was so well realized. The cinematography was great. I was so surprised by the camera work in this. They paid a lot of attention to the sword play. They paid a lot of attention to the stunts. They really make He-Man feel like a hero. And this is probably going to be a very short review because I really don't have much more to say outside of that. Everyone's expectations are going to be a little different. Obviously, it depends on how far in nostalgia world you are. I know there have been some complaints about Prince Adam's, slight interpretation of being like at the start being kind of a goofy guy, being a goofy guy. But I think that for the sake of the film and also it being a Saturday morning cartoon, I think that's the great stuff of adapting something is that there's always room for layering more commentary, more humor, more satire. And this movie has all of those things in spades, but it doesn't forget that it's a Masters of the Universe movie. It doesn't forget the icon that is He-Man to a lot of people, and you see him shine. But again, Skeletor stole the show for me. Everyone was cracking up, laughing like a motherfucker. I can't stress enough the production value in this movie really doesn't feel like a set more than 70% of the time. So much of these sets feel lived in. The CGI enhancement make it feel lived in. The details, the statues, the interior shots, everything feels like it was crafted with a level of love from people who are genuinely nostalgic for He-Man, and also nostalgic for summer blockbusters. I think this is a perfect example of how to do a crowd pleasing movie. Everybody in the theater was clapping, everyone was laughing and hollering. And I think for summer blockbusters, unless you're a Marvel film, is very rare. Yeah, go to theaters, support this movie, give it the love that it really deserves. It looks like Travis Knight absolutely poured his heart out in this. And if it fails, it's not because of him. It's not because he made a bad movie, because a bad movie this is not. Far from it. It's just because there's a risk of adapting source material. I don't think the last iteration of He-Man have been Netflix Revelations, and then there's a CGI He-Man Adventures as well that I've seen, and it's different. It's cool, but it's very different, and it's more cyberpunkish. And before that, it was the Cartoon Network. There's no real source material outside of the TV medium, where Mortal Kombat has games, and you have the animated WB movies, and you have the shorts, you have the films. There's a lot more with that nostalgia because it's being banked on consistently year after year. And He-Man, I feel like, has been left a little bit to the wayside. And even when you look at who made Revelations and Revolutions, the writer and director of that is Kevin Smith. I really hope that this is able to get a kickstart and be revitalized, because they do have post-credit scenes that you should stay for. I definitely clapped for 2 of the 3. Great reveals, great setups. And I feel like I want to see that be realized, because those 2 reveals were really great. So please, if you're even remotely curious, guarantee you're gonna like it. You're gonna enjoy it for the summer blockbuster that it's trying to be, with a lot of heart, and it doesn't feel like it's a cash grab. It couldn't be, because I can't imagine anyone sat behind a producer table or a writing table and said, He-Man just keeps on planting money trees. Let's make more of it. No, this was a risk. And I think they were banking on Travis putting his heart and soul into it. And I really hope it pays off. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. I certainly enjoyed it. I will definitely be going in for another rewatch. And yeah, that's my review, man. I had such a fun time with this. Kind of a weird review when you can just go in and go, hey, man, it worked. It really, all of it worked. Just go have fun. So that's my honest review on Masters of the Universe. Let me know if you guys end up going. Let me know if I've convinced you. And when you do go see it, please come back to the comments section and fucking drop a I have the power, please, if you liked it. That would be really nice, really cool. Travis Knight is a GOAT. I cannot wait to see Wildwood. Still one of my most anticipated movies of the year. And my books are coming in the mail. I can't wait to review Wildwood, the books. I'm going to do a little Cosmic Spine instead of like Cosmic Frame for movies, Cosmic Controller for games. I'm going to get Cosmic Spine in this bitch so I can review those books. And I'm very excited. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. And as always, I will see you at the movies.